Is Scarlet and Violet the best base set in the last decade? We're gonna get into it right now, folks. What's going on, folks? PokeDegen here. If you guys appreciate this type of content, go ahead and click the subscribe button, and let's get right into it. To even call Scarlet and Violet the best base set in the last decade, I'm gonna have to look at the base sets in the last decade. So to start off, we're gonna start with Sword and Shield, okay? The most recent base set before Scarlet and Violet. Now, if we look at these hits, guys, this Marnie is a very nice card. This Snorlax, very nice. But after that, we start to have a rapid fall off, okay? When we're talking about collector's items and cards that people want to chase down the line, in my opinion, I don't see people chasing this Lapras Rainbow. Rainbows aren't highly sought after. Lapras is a good Pokemon. Like, if this was a Lapras alternate art, okay, that would be an amazing chase in this set. But nothing of the sort, because we know that wasn't introduced to battle styles. I don't see people chasing these gold, these Zacian and Zamazenta gold cards. I mean, they're really cool Pokemon, cool legendaries, but in my opinion, they don't hold that juice that where people are going to open this setup in 5-10 years and they're going to be chasing gold, okay? This Snorlax right here, very nice card, very nice Snorlax VMAX. But yeah, guys, once we go through these three hits right here, this Marnie, Snorlax VMAX Rainbow, and the regular VMAX, where he has like the island on his belly, I mean, after that, it just starts to get extremely dry in Sword and Shield base, okay? And mind you guys, this set is going for around $300 right now, okay? In my opinion, just trash, okay? I mean, so if a set like this can return 300%, we all know Scarlet and Violet is filled with hits. I can only imagine what a set like that will do when we give it a 3-5 year timeline. Even if you were to pull the best card in this set, if you were to get extremely lucky and get a 10, alright, you got the most gem mint pack fresh card out of it. You're only getting $143, okay? After we subtract the cost and shipping to PSA, we're looking at $120 here, okay? Not to mention the fact that you're probably going to wait 6 to 12 months to get this card back, and your chances of pulling the card in a 10 condition are extremely low, okay? So when we talk about the collectability of this set over the long term, I'm just not seeing those hits. The main thing that it has going for it is Sword and Shield introduced alternate arts, and the rest of Sword and Shield is just exploding. So if that explodes, then this base set is going to explode more than it even has already. So that's what it has going for it, but as far as hits, I just don't see it, folks. Now, if we go back even further in time, around 4 years ago, go to this Sun and Moon base set. In my opinion, we can see it's also very similar to the Sword and Shield base set, okay? We don't really have any top Pokemon cards. We have a Lily, we have a Trainer full art. It's the top of the set right here. If you grade this card into 10, you're gonna get like $250. So it's a harder card to grade. Chances of opening a booster box and pulling this card, this Lily, is extremely low. Now, if we add the chances of you pulling the Lily and getting it in a 10 condition, I mean, we're talking about really low chances, folks, okay? We're basically talking about you go buy a lottery ticket and scratch it off and try to win, okay? That's basically what this is right here. When we're talking about a set that only has 1 or 2 good hits, okay? And after we go past that, look at the second card. It's a freaking Nest Ball, okay? It's not even a Pokemon. The second card in Sun and Moon is not even a Pokemon. Nest Ball, it's a nice card, but I mean, not a Pokemon, not a $80 to $100 card that's gonna be really collectible in the future. And if we scroll past that, we see more rainbow cards, okay, guys? Now, if these were alternate arts, if we had an Umbreon and Espeon alternate art, I know they weren't out in Sun and Moon, but just imagine we had that in here. We had 3 alternate arts and 2 evolutions at the top end of the set. Okay, we're talking about maybe an all-time set, but these are rainbow cards right here, folks, okay? Like I said, people don't really like to collect the rainbow cards. I mean, they like them, but they don't really like them, okay? So I don't really see these rainbows appreciating like the alternate arts when we're talking about a 3 to 5 year time horizon. And if we scroll down, in my opinion, it just gets worse. Just more Pokeballs, more non-Pokemon. So Galio, not the coolest Pokemon, okay? Now, if we scroll down, we see more Pokeballs, less Pokemon, which I don't like to see in a set when we're talking about long-term collectability. And look at all these rainbows, guys. I do not like these rainbows, okay? People like the rainbows, but they don't really like them, okay? So as a long-term collection position, when we go down the road and we have people paying $500 to $800 for a booster box, those people are doing their research on the booster box, okay? They know what hypothetically they can pull, okay? And if they see all these crabby rainbows, the collectability of that set is not going to do very well, okay? Now, just imagine if these were alternate arts, okay? I know they weren't out then, but imagine we had a Lapras alternate art, a Lunala alternate art, even though I don't really like the Pokemon, a Umbreon alternate art, and Espeon alternate art. This would be one of the best base sets ever, okay? But since these are rainbows, it's really lacking for me when we talk about long-term collectability, okay? And after we go past these top 2-3 cards, it just starts dropping off a cliff, okay? We start going down to the 15s in the second row. And again, guys, this set would have returned you 200% in 4 years, okay? It would have matched the S&P 500's production in 7 years in half the time, okay? Even a crappy base set like this would have done that. Alright folks, now we're getting into the heavy hitter, XY base, okay? This is insane. If you would have bought this set at release around 6 to 7 years ago, you could have got it for $100 a box. And now it's going for $2,000. So after fees and shipping on X and Y base, guys, we are talking about a 15 to 20x return, which is just absolutely insane, okay? The stock market returns an average of doubling your money in 7 years. So we're talking about outperforming the stock market by 7 to 10x in the same time frame, okay? Which is just insane. If you could tell any investor 7 to 10x the stock market in the same time, they would look at you like you're crazy, okay? Okay guys, let's start looking at the hitters of this, okay? The top 4 is very strong. We have 2 full arts of the OG starters. When we're talking about a collectability standpoint, we can see why X and Y is sticking out, because we have 2 of the most standout Pokemon, 2 of the most recognizable. And this Venusaur is extremely hard to grade, okay? If you were to somehow get a 10 on this card, you're looking at $500 to $600. Blastoise is a little bit easier to grade. In a 10, we are talking about $150 to $200. At the very top end of the set, we have some very strong hitters right here. 2 of the most OG Pokemon you can get. Then if we scroll, okay, we got some legendaries. They're cool. Not amazing. I don't see many people talking about these specific legendaries, but they are pretty cool cards, not some big hitters. If we scroll down, we can see the hits start falling off considerably, okay? We still have a Mega Blastoise EX, we still have this Emolga EX, but we're starting to hit some reverses. In the third row, you can see we're starting to hit a trainer rare, a regular trainer card, which shows us that the hits are really starting to rapidly die down. We can see some EXs in a Mega Venusaur EX for under $10, so still some very cheap cards in this set. The main value comes from that top end, when we're talking about $500 to $600 to $700 Venusaur EX that is extremely hard to grade. And if we scroll down the fourth row, just garbage, okay? Let's be honest, it just starts to get really trashy. The set does have some hits, but guys, we aren't talking about crazy hits, okay? And we're still talking about a 15 to 20x return in 6 to 7 years, which is just mind-boggling, okay? And we don't even see that many hits. If we were to compare this to a set like Scarlet and Violet, the hits are not standing out to me right now, okay? I can scroll through Scarlet and Violet like I'm going to do right now, and the hits are going to stand out to me. Alright guys, finally, we're going to talk about the best base set in the last decade. That's right, the best base set in the last decade, Scarlet and Violet, okay? Guys, look at these top 4. Let's just look at these top 4 for 1 second, okay? A beautiful Marion full art, and we have 3 alternate arts, okay? Now you tell me, in 6 to 7 years, do you think these alternate arts right here are going to hold value? We have a Rolls alternate art, a Gardevoir alternate art, a Miraidon alternate art, a Koraidon alternate art, okay? These are cooler than the last legendaries we saw, in my opinion, okay? And these are alternate arts. The last ones were full arts. So how do you think these are going to hold up in the future, okay? In my opinion, very well. Look at this Gyarados, another amazing pull. Imagine pulling this 7 to 8 years down the line, okay? This is what collectors and people who are going to drop $700 to $800 on a booster box want to see, okay? They want to see they can pull a Gyarados, a Miriam, 3 alternate arts, a first evolution alternate art, beautiful gold cards, an Arcanine, and a Gyarados. 2 beautiful, very unique cards, okay? These are tarot cards, just amazingly unique. And in 6 to 7 years, do you think collectors will want these still? I do. Now look at this Great Tusk alternate art, another beautiful alternate art, very cheap right now. But again guys, the collectability on this in 6 to 7 years down the line, okay? When we were looking at XY, all we really saw was the Venusaur and the Blastoise EX at the very top of the set, okay? And after that, we just started a rapid fall down. But here I'm going into the second column, and we still have heat right here, okay? Look at this third column. Look at these hits right here. This penny, I haven't even pulled this penny yet. It's a very rare card. It's a beautiful card, okay? Again, it's going for $12, $13 right now. But again, 6 to 7 years down the line, do you guys think these cards are going to be $10 cards? I do not think so, okay? We're going to the 5th row, okay? The 5th row on Scarlet and Violet. We have a rare candy gold. I do see this being collectible in the future. This is just an OG item. This is like day 1 item. We have a Curlia alternate art. We have a Gardevoir EX full art. Beautiful. I've already seen Gardevoir collectors picking all these Gardevoir and the early evolution alternate arts up, because these are just amazing sets to add for a Gardevoir collector and a Pokemon collector. We have a gold energy. Absolutely beautiful, okay? And guys, here we're going on the 6th row. We still have hits, okay? Look at this Slowpoke. Have you ever seen a Slowpoke card this unique? 6 to 7 years down the line, do you think people want this Slowpoke? Look at this penny right here. Is this the Eevee? Do you think people want this penny right here? Do you think people want this Jock right here? Look at these artworks right here, okay? These are unique artworks right here. We're going down to the 7th row, and we still have some Gardevoir collector bait right here. This is not Donphan. I guess it's Iron Treads, but still, a beautiful card. A Donphan collector is probably going to pick this up. I'm calling it Donphan in my opinion. I'm not calling that Iron Treads. I'm like, oh, that's Donphan right there. They pimped him out. He looks really cool. Guys, we are going to the 7th row on Scarlet and Violet, and we still have very collectible cards that I see being worth money in the future, okay? Look at this Riolu. Have you ever seen a Riolu card like this with this artwork right here? What do you think this is going to be worth in a PSA 10 in 10 years down the line? Are people even grading this in a massive amount? They're probably grading all this crap at the top, okay? But we have to think about all these cards at the bottom that are going to get graded and are beautiful, okay? This King Gambit, I don't know about the Pokemon, but the card is beautiful. This Riolu, like I just said, is beautiful. This Armarouge, a really cool Pokemon, but it's really new, okay? If we see this Armarouge getting popular, we could see this card even exploding. This is like a first time special illustration of it, or special artwork of it. And guys, we're going to the 10th row, and I still see full art trainers and full art cards being there, okay? Amazing for a collector 7 to 8 years down the line when you're spending close to $1,000 on a booster box. These are the kind of hits you want to see when you're spending that type of money, okay? You don't want to open Sun and Moon base and get wrecked. You don't want to open Sword and Shield base and get $10 value for $300, okay? You want to open a set like this where you can spend $700 and you might not make your money back. Maybe if you grade you can, but you might make 60 to 70% of your money back, okay? And that's what we want to see when we're talking about collectability in the long term, okay? If Sun and Moon base could have returned 200%, Sword and Shield base could have returned 300%, and they're both trash, and X and Y base is not even that good compared to this base set right here, okay? This base set blows X and Y base out of the water in my opinion. Thanks to anybody who watched the video. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good one. Take care.